Okay, so today I'm introducing my flex format that I was talking about, which basically just means I can play anything with no context or no structure, because you know how I like to do all those series like a fixed series. So the problem with something like this is that you can't do it like that. Is if I said, okay, I'm doing the 1 to 60 permadeath as a main series, it would take me literally fucking forever. Right, not to say that my 4-month hard mode series don't justify that, but I think it would get a little bit tedious and annoying to like just be locked into only that. So with this is like, I'm playing this today just because I felt like it, but then I might not ever play it again, or it might be like really in the background, like only on flex days. Once in a while I might do it, or I might just do something else completely. It gives you a good chance to try games as like a one-off experience, like, and then you can maybe save it to become a main series later. But what I'll probably do is just jump around and play a lot of different things every time, and obviously people can vote and stuff. Like, I put as many things in there as I could fit. Like, EverQuest is a good example, right? Like, I could try EverQuest for the first time ever, but then you realize it could take so long to get anywhere with it that it might not be worth it as a main series. So we'll try this. I was thinking about trying Duelist because I saw a little thing like, oh, Duelist 2 came out and it's like a free source code for the first game or whatever. So that's a card game that I never tried. So without having to commit this to a main like hard mode series, or without having to commit Duelist to like one of my main secondary slots like Pokemon TCG or whatever, we can still just try them and then see what happens. And so yeah, I've done already like 3 of the 1 to 60 permadeaths: a priest, a rogue, and a warrior. So let me get rid of this actually. So I'm not even sure what class I want to do now, but basically I do it like it's a single player game, as we're doing like with Anthem and Destiny and stuff. Go 1 to 60 without dying. Obviously you can't use abilities like Ankh or Soulstone or whatever. That doesn't count, because that would be obviously every 30 minutes then a lot could just troll the whole thing. Yeah, warrior was probably the hardest because you don't really have too many outs. You can just get fucked over if too many things aggro or something like that. The priest wasn't too hard. You can always heal and psychic stream and stuff to get out of tight spots. And the rogue was a joke, because anytime you're in trouble, what can you do? You can just vanish. The only time that might fuck you over is if you have like a dot on you and you don't realize it. That almost actually got me killed once. So I'll try to play something I haven't played before ever. My experience with this game is like obviously very extensive. It's almost like a Skyrim-esque story, right? This was the original Skyrim, where like it's just a lifelong playthrough that you'll never finish and you have no intention of finishing. But I always did say I wanted to get every class from 1 to 60. So we won't do any multiplayer stuff, and so that's one upside of the servers being dead or whatever. I don't think there are BC servers anymore, so you can either play on Wrath or Classic. There is no BC. I think BC just turned over to Wrath, right? That's at least my impression of it. Yeah, I haven't played this since like 2019, I don't think. Yeah, what were my original characters? In vanilla, I got 1 to 60 as a mage. And then eventually, like in Wrath, I made a warrior. So I was a mage pretty much through vanilla and BC. My favorite class, I love the class. Then maybe we should do a mage, but I kind of don't want to, because I'm kind of, you know, I want to do a class like that I've almost never played before. But yeah, I did a mage through vanilla and BC. Then Wrath, I made a warrior. It was kind of like the inverse feel, like, oh, majors are so squishy, so I want to play the tankiest class, which you could also say paladin or whatever, but you want somebody who can actually play as a tank. So I played as a warrior in Wrath, and then I also made a Death Knight just for the fuck of it, and we trolled people. I guess we could do that right now in, if I wanted to do Wrath of the Lich King Classic, you can just troll people in Hellfire Peninsula. It's not even like, oh, you're ganking them. You're literally the same level or lower than they are, but because of how broken the class was, you could just get away with that. I like how they kind of overcorrected, too, for Hearthstone with the Death Knight. It's kind of an irony that they almost made the cards too weak, it seems like, so they had to buff them later. What happened to the music? If you tab out, it doesn't play, but that's weird. Oh, it's just waiting for a loop. Yeah, we did mage, warrior, that, and then obviously with the re-release, I've done these other ones. Right, priest, I had never done. It's weird that I chose to do a warrior again, but I guess I never did level 1 to 60 as a warrior in Classic. I only did, you know, the one class, the mage. That's kind of what I hate about the re-release. Right, it's the fact that people would act like, oh, they know everything, mistaking borrowed knowledge for their own, Nax 40 is a joke, blah, 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 just because other people have done it. How much of the game had people really played from 2004 to basically 2007 when BC came out? a lot of these people didn't have that total experience. If you went in fresh like you would with a single player game, it would still be pretty fresh and exciting. There'd be a lot you haven't experienced, a lot of classes and stuff, but they act like just, it's like this egocentric thing that happens only in multiplayer games, I guess. They act like everything's a foregone conclusion and it's just so easy, and like, oh, it's like a solved game, like with chess we talk about. Even if it is a solved game and there's an answer to every little thing, which is still debatable, but even if that was true, it's not solved for you. So I don't really get that whole, like, you just want to preconceive and go through it. So one thing that we'll do here, that I did kind of do on the other permadeaths, but not completely thoroughly, is be like super immersive, like where we actually read all the quest text and stuff. So I'll have to choose a race that I haven't played as too much. Like I always made fun of trolls, so maybe we should do a troll. So yeah, I'm not going to do those 3 classes we just talked about. There's no point. I won't do a mage either. Hunter was one of my first classes that I tried to play, but I only got it to like level 20 something. We're talking about like actual classic now. And I remember this epic moment in Shadowfang Keep. It was my first time doing it, and the whole group wiped, and we were fighting Aragorn, and he was almost dead. And I actually got the finishing, like I soloed him for the whatever little health he had left. That was a very cool moment. Rogue we did, so I could do Shaman or Hunter are really the only... In fact, this is almost existing to troll me, because, you know, Druid would be another one I would want to do, literally, to troll me. I think Hunter actually could be fun, but then it almost feels too easy, because you can hide behind your pet and stuff. There's no shame in it, though. I always did like that. Those were the first 2 classes that I actually kind of wanted to play, was either Druid or Hunter, but then I ended up not doing it. So see, even somebody who's played this like my whole life, you wouldn't have had that much of a chance to, right? Like if you... pretending private servers don't exist or whatever, you would have only had your vanilla experience. So why were people acting like such cocks, like, oh, haha, we know everything, everything's a joke, and it's so easy? I hate that mentality. So yeah, I think I might do this, and then that's what I could say about chess. Like, if I had played chess as much as I played WoW when I was younger, I would be a GM by now, or at least if I had kept it up. That's why kids have an advantage in chess. Not that they're innately better or they learn things quicker. It's the fact that they have so much fucking free time, right, that adults don't have. That's why adult learners aren't a thing. So yeah, this will be a nice slow-paced type of thing. I don't even know how far I'll get today. But this is a very unique way to play games like this. And it's not even like, oh, I'd be averse to doing stuff in groups and other, like if I try EverQuest or something, but obviously with a game like this, it should be a solo experience, except we will cheese it with the pet. I actually don't even mind that, because I've never gotten to 60 on 100, period. And I also, yeah, like I said, I always make fun of trolls because I thought they looked so stupid. But then over time, when you learn the lore, they're actually the original OG Azeroth class, right? They're the only Azeroth native, if you think about it. Humans were like the Vicroll, the gnomes and dwarves as well. I like how they explain 3 races' origin just that simply. The Curse of Flesh by Yogg-Saron, from the machinations of Mimiron and the whole Ulduar stuff. But yeah, all 3 of those are like alien. And night elves are offshoots of trolls, even though it seems weird to think about. Blood elves as well. Undead obviously were changed later on to that. Who am I forgetting? Just from the vanilla set. Oh, obviously. Taurens were native too. That's true. But they were kind of like... Yeah, so either Taurens or Trolls are the only ones. Obviously, Orcs came from Draenor. Fucking Centaur, I guess, are native. They always were battling with the... I don't know that I've even... I probably did read all this at one point or another, but this is almost what I want it to be, right? Combine the permadeath with the immersive thing. The one thing I can't do, though, that I like to do is, like, I should try to solo, like... solo dead mines at level 20 whatever, like, you know, try to push elites and do stuff. I'll play it like really safe and like a pussy, and there won't be any players to sort of troll me over or like get me killed. Although if I was a bigger streamer, that might be an issue, but obviously we'll go on a PvE server. The thing with this is, yeah, let's actually check that. This is PvP, so I wouldn't even want to do that. Yeah, this is completely fresh. We get to try the priest was really fucking boring, but it wasn't too hard. Rogue, like I said, is probably one of the easiest ones. I think Hunter probably would be pretty easy too, but fuck it. I had like a little raptor pet. I still remember that. It's just, that's sometimes why you can't have nice things, right? People were begging for Classic for so long, but then you see even a lot of the streamers, Asmongold and stuff, they didn't really, I don't know. it really comes down to how you want to decide to play it yourself. You should almost do it on an RP one. What is this? Bloodsnail Buccaneers RP. But then what if people are RPing and they fucking... It's got to be either normal or... I actually will do RP because I think normal means that you can't just kill people unless you choose to. But the fact is they're all going to be dead. All they have to do is keep one server up for stuff like this, right? Just till the end of time. Never fucking delete them all. Just keep one. And so even if it's dead, they're all dead. I don't know why you need this many, really. But let's do that. Bloodsail Buccaneer. So we're gonna RP solo though. So I'll do Horde because I played as Alliance too much, obviously, in the past. And so, I mean, what classes would I... Let's say if I made a pecking order, what classes would I want to still do, and in what order, right? So we would do Hunter, and then Shaman and Druid would be fun, obviously. Mage I don't want to do anytime soon. Paladin is kind of boring because you're just standing there doing seals and stuff. Although that would be one of those easy out classes too. You could just bubble anytime you're about to die, lay on hands. That would be one of the easiest ones to do as well. Rogue just kind of blew my mind. Because not only do you get to make the first strike on enemies all the time, but anytime you're in trouble, you can just sprint away, blind them, CC, vanish. Like, it's a total fucking joke. Just trying to think of, like, what... Like, Mage, you could ice block, but I could see Mage being a little bit annoying sometimes. If you just run out of mana, you're fucked. You can't really rely on mana shield and stuff, but you can always blink away and stuff. Warriors is one of the worst, actually, because you're just... If you get attacked by 2 or 3 things, you can't run away. You get your little... was that even in? I forget now. The little fear shout. Yeah, it must be, but you don't really have too many outs to just get out of there. Yeah, Druid and Shaman would be 2 that would be fun to try. You almost might think, like, why not just do this on the current, like, Rat server? Because you could still get 1 to 60, but then the leveling experience isn't quite the same. I feel like in BC it almost is the same, but then... Yeah, we'll do a troll, we'll do this, so let's make it look a certain way that we want. Horde. 4 races comprise the Horde. The Brutal Oryx, the Shadow... So even if I was playing it for the first time, I would still... Well, actually, that's not true, though. I didn't do that. Right? Like, I didn't read quest text, obviously. I still haven't read all of it, but I've read a good amount. 4 races comprise the Horde. Brutal Oryx, the Shadowy Undead, the Spiritual Tauren, and the Quick-Witted Trolls. Beset by enemies on all sides, these outcasts have forged a union they hope will ensure their mutual survival. Yeah, that's what we see with the Tauren, at least, right? They save the orcs from Murlocs, or was that the trolls? I forget now. I think that's how the Tauren meet them. Once at home in the... I think the Tauren get saved from the Centaur, actually. Once at home in the jungles of Stranglethorn Vale. See, that doesn't really account for the whole Zandalar stuff, though. The fierce trolls of the dark... Oh, it's just specifically talking about the Darkspear. Of the Darkspear tribe were pushed out by warring factions. Eventually, the trolls befriended the Orcish Horde, and Thrall, the Orc's young war chief, convinced the trolls... What? This is such a run-on sentence. Eventually, the trolls befriended the Orcish Horde, and Thrall, the Orc's young war chief, convinced the trolls to travel with him through Kalimdor. Though they cling to their shadowy heritage, the Darkspear trolls hold a place of honor in the Horde. Berserk... obviously, we know what these are. Hunters know... the uncharted places of the world. Gifted. What is this game? Did you revive it? It's completely dead, as a matter of fact. I'm sure there'll be nobody on here. But yeah, that would be the bad luck if I was a bigger streamer, even on a PvE server. Somebody would find a way to troll me and get me killed by some enemy. They'll aggro like Kazakh from somewhere and run me down or something. Gifted with a deep empathy for all life, they have an uncanny knack for befriending wild animals and taming them as pets. In addition, hunters can use their finely honed senses to become master trackers. Wherever they go, they fight back against the ravages of sickness, exploitation, and industrialization. Interesting. So with like professions and stuff, it's not going to be as rewarding because we're not going to be able to sell stuff on the auction house. Like, I'm going to actually avoid that as a mechanic. Even if there were people doing it, like it's completely solo, so I can't benefit from other people. I guess you can't stop people from helping you kill stuff if they happen to be around, but generally that's not going to be an issue. And that's a double-edged sword where they could potentially get you killed and stuff. Megan reached your chess mastery, by the way. Why? She was already higher than me, I thought. She was 1250. which I've never been, or at least I'm not 1200 now. So what appearance do we want? Because we're going to be looking at this guy for a long time. The problem with this is, of course, I'm going to do it so sporadically. So it's going to be a background series for sure. If a series at all. 3,000. What the fuck? I wonder how that worked exactly. It just kind of adaptively learns based on how much it plays people, or... Isn't there like a 4,000 rated engine now? Let's do like a greenish one. I like the either that one or this one. This one's pretty good. What is this? The face. Kind of hard to see the face with the tusks. I like how there's so many different groups of each race too. Like how you have, you know, different factions among them. It's like this was one of the best single player games ever if you played it like that, but it happened to be multiplayer too. Like compare it to what was the best game in 2004, like Half-Life 2, which is certainly a lot shorter and there's not as much to it. And like Oblivion, let's say in 2006, one of the best games ever too. But just the sheer amount of depth to this world is actually amazing. I kind of like that face. Was it this one? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, that was good, I guess. I don't think I've ever played as a troll, really. I mean, I played it at every class to some extent in the context of just like getting to level 10 or something, but not really. In fact, I think I sort of avoided Druid a lot, because Druid and Shaman, because I kind of wanted to save them. They just seemed so cool that I wanted to try it. Like Wind Fury, we'll do a solo Wind Fury experience. They just used a different bot, most likely. Oblivion was great. Yeah, so if you compare Oblivion in 2006 as a single-player game to even WoW mechanically and so forth, and then it's like a million times the size. Like a single zone in this game is almost as big as the entire map of Skyrim or whatever. That's the one thing MMOs can get away with, is just like having way bigger worlds. So I don't know what I want for this. That one's okay, I guess. Kind of gets in your way as you're fighting, though. You should really just be bald. Kind of like the idea of the green hair with the green skin, though. Let's do that one, and then let's see if there's another green. I think that's probably going to be the best one. Or let's see how the other green skin color looks compared to that. This one, they look almost the same, but they can't be the same. Whatever, and then we do the tusks, and that completely changes how your face looks. It's not just tusks, but face tattoos too. Did you ever do a hardcore Oblivion playthrough, or is it too old? I did like this whole weird like Coliseum manager thing, like where you become the Coliseum champion, and then your whole goal in the game is like, it's permadeath, but it's also like you spend the whole week preparing in game, because you can only compete in the tournament like once a week. So you spend the whole week like farming for materials and resources and soul gems and stuff, and then you have to do the arena match, and those can be like really hard. So that was kind of a fun, and that's like all it was. So every adventure you would go on would just be in the context of trying to save up and survive the next arena match. Sounds slow but fun. I like how I haven't beaten any of those games either, like Skyrim, and I have no intention really to do that. It's almost like if you did beat it, it would make me less wanting to play it, because then there's like a sense of finality to it. That one looks pretty cool, honestly. What kind of name do we want? Names can only contain letters. Oh, whoops. I don't know. Yeah, let's just do this. So I'll probably only get to like level 10 or something. We'll take our time. Watch the intro even.
Cruelty and dark mysticism. Barbarous and superstitious, they carry a seething hatred for all other races. Long since exiled from its ancestral homeland in Stranglethorn Vale, the Darkspear tribe was nearly destroyed by rampaging Murlocs. Rescued by the young war chief Thrall and his Orcish warriors, the Darkspear tribe swore allegiance to the Horde. Led by the cunning shadow hunter Vol'jin, the Dark Spears now make their home in Durotar, along with their Orcish allies. As one of the only surviving Dark Spears, it falls to you to reclaim the glory of your tribe.
The intros were so good. I can't believe there's actually people here, though. We even saw one in the intro. That kind of ruined my immersion. Beautiful cutscene. Did you play Legion Warcraft mod? Like for TD War... is that like for Warcraft 3 or what? Legion TD Warcraft mod. Basically, the expansions that I played in WoW itself were only like... I kind of don't even want to play on the server now, I'm realizing, because there are actually way too many people. What the fuck? I thought it'd be dead. They promised me a dead game. Oh, that kind of sucks. Huh. Maybe I can just pick a normal... What is a normal server even? I don't even know. Maybe it doesn't matter, but... I almost wanted it to feel like I am alone there. Tower defense for Warcraft 3. No, I don't think I have. Yeah, so like I played from vanilla to the end of Wrath. And I guess like beating the Lich King, even just on normal difficulty, not heroic or anything, was kind of like a good way to cap it off. So it's not even that like I got bored of the game or I disliked it. I just thought that was a good time to stop. And so I didn't really play Cataclysm. I didn't play Mist at all. And anything beyond that. I think I came back at one point just to like fly around the map and see what was different since like Cataclysm. So that would be the kind of series I would do too. Like I'll buy Dragonflight just to be able to... Damn, now I can't decide. Like, how many people are there really? Fuck, why are there so many? Okay, what is a normal server, first of all? Does it tell you? It take me the whole time just to create my character. Amazing. Yeah, even the core combat is fun. It's just kind of like very repetitive with the auto-attacking. But then there's that sense of character progression that evens it out. Remember back when hunters actually had mana. Amazing. I kind of like that better instead of focus, but that's kind of unfortunate. It says low, but I mean that's pretty impressive number of people. It doesn't tell you what normal actually is though. I forget. I don't know what this is. Season of Mastery. Feature faster leveling and more challenging raid encounters. Maybe I can look it up. What is normal WoW server? Best if you want to have a good time leveling and doing PvE content. While playing on these servers, PvP is entirely optional. That means you won't get unexpectedly ganked, diminishes social interaction. Because I think because that is the only RP server, it is actually disproportionately populated. I don't know what that means though. If you want to have a good, predictable time. This also diminishes... I guess I don't fully get it, though. It only happens if you come in both normal and PvP, differences, blah, blah, blah. Okay, I'll just go on to any sort of random... Let's go with a lore character name that I actually like. Or no, because then maybe people will have the same idea. So we obviously can't do PvP, because that would count. RP, PvP, Atiyesh, Azure Song... Mankirk, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, Old Blanchy. Who's going to play on fucking Old Blanchy? Yo, Jamba, I don't even know who that is. There's a standalone version called Legion TDD 2. Always wanted to bring it up during Plants vs. Zombies, but the WoW stream gave me a reason to as well. Yeah, I can try it. I haven't played Warcraft 3 in forever as well. Okay, let's try this then instead. You know, we could do a female character since I rarely do those. Not one of the best character models, though, I must say. Good excuse to change since I just undid all my customization. Let's still go with the same idea, though. The green skin and then some kind of scary looking face. That one's kind of good. Or... That almost gives you like zombie vibes, the way her mouth is hanging open there. Or is that just... Oh, that's just her lip color, I guess. Do that. Yeah, you always think back to how Dota started from a Warcraft 3 mod. Or like more recently, PUBG started from an Arma 2 mod. Just like all these people who, I guess you can't say, oh, they owe the fans money or some kind of recognition for that, but it's just kind of weird how that happens. None of these I really like. These hairstyles all suck. This one's okay, I guess. Or how about the just... Oh, fuck. It makes you think it's a mohawk, but it's a ponytail. Or like a whatever. How about this? That one's not bad. Hair color, how about the same green thing? Or maybe we can go with the more bluish. I kind of wanted to match our skin for some reason. No, I'll do green, I guess. And then tusks. How about some big ones? Oh, what? The women only get tiny tusks? What the fuck is that? That's weird. I didn't know that. I thought they would have just as crazy ones. You can use them as a weapon as your last resort. That'll give you a special ability. Okay. So now here, I'm sure it'll be different, where there'll be literally nobody on here. So I think what normal means is that you only engage in PvP if you choose to go into that. But I'm not sure how contested zones and stuff work. I'm just going to assume that's how it works. You never really even need the bow shooting icon because you can always just press T or whatever. Or you can just go right into an ability. That skin would win one of Hasman's competitions. I almost don't even want chat there at all. Or we could do the combat log. Or you know what you could do is the Alt Z, but not... Or wait, what? Oh, that opens up my... Isn't that what it was? Alt Z, like, removes all the UI. I guess the combat log is okay, just to keep track of values and stuff. Or you could just do this and it'll be empty all the time, so you won't even know it's there. Just make it as immersive as possible. So we get rid of this. You always have the auto attack option. I'm not really sure when it comes to shooting. I guess for now, since I don't have any abilities, they start you off with the lovely 200 arrows. Support system. Yeah, I bet they won't give you support for such a dead game. Render scale. Almost like we could lower the graphics to fit with like what it originally looked like, but I guess I don't really care about that. This will almost just make it look too alien, like they've probably updated stuff. I remember disliking some of the grass particles and stuff, but I'll try it. Environment detail, blah blah blah. I'll die because my game lags out or crashes or something because I can't handle a 2004 game. Max background, blah blah blah. 30 contrast. Check all the settings. Should be fine. Graphics card, auto detect. That could be a mistake, actually. Optimize for network speed. Yeah, see, there's nobody on this one, so that actually was a mistake to go on the RP server. I should almost disable... oh, they're not even on. Like the character names and stuff. Enable sound, sound effects, music. I guess you don't have to loop it, but it usually does come back eventually anyway. Enable pet sounds, aggro sounds... I won't use any add-ons or anything. Ambient sounds, dialogue, error speech. I almost don't like error speech because I'm going to be spamming stuff. Sound and background. Oh, that's kind of what I wanted before too, yeah. System default, high 64, blah, blah, blah. Sound cache, voice chat. Nice, dude. Music. I don't know if I should leave it like this or if they should all be high. That's actually kind of a... tricky thing. I think I always used to have them like super high. I don't see what would be wrong with that. Unless the music just gets like way too loud, but we'll see. Yeah, 1 to 10 will actually be a little bit tricky because you don't have your pet to rely on. Where's like the UI and stuff? Interface options. Sticky targeting. Auto clear AFK. Auto loot. We can just hold down shift to do that. That's fine. Interact on left click. Oh yeah, you can move around in this game by clicking and stuff too. Oh, we should play in first person actually. That'll be the real fucking hard mode. First person shooter. Although you don't really get to aim, you just auto fucking shoot. But show target damage, show periodic damage, pet damage. Don't really need floating combat text. Where does it just say here? Names, guild names, titles. Friendly players, minions, enemy players, minions. Always show nameplates. Are only shown by default are only shown in combat. Check this to show nameplates all the time. Enemy units, minor nameplates for minor enemies. I don't know how exactly. You should only really see it when you're like right up close or targeting them or attacking them or something, I guess. But we don't even start with the racial on the bar. That's kind of weird. Yeah, this actually helps quite a bit. The fact that, you know, you're not going to have any healing besides that. Oh, but we can't actually click off. So what is the setting for that? I'm so used to doing that, in fact. You should be able to turn off the nameplates altogether, like even when you do target them. Mouse, invert mouse, mouse sensitivity, click to move, lock cursor to window. It was something to do with the sticky thing, right? Checking this will prevent the deselection by clicking the game field. Okay, that's good. I love the peaceful dude who leveled to max without ever killing an enemy. Yeah, I guess you couldn't really do that in the earlier versions of the game. That was in like Mist of Pandaria, I think, right? Like you could complete quests or just mine stuff.
Strength and honor. Ogra.
This will make it also harder to like complete quests and stuff. Maybe like you want, well, you'll be able to see it on the map and whatnot. But I can't even do the Alt Z because my stupid whatever that overlay is keeps cucking my ability to do that. GeForce experience or whatever. That's stupid. So many of these NPCs you don't even ever talk to, or I guess they're very specific with like particular class quests or something.
Speak, friend.
Finally, your place in the world. Finally, you are of age, Rygor, of age to battle in the name of the Horde, to conquer for the glory of the war chief. Yes, he looks over at you. You will do nicely. No doubt you wish to find a great dragon or demon and strangle it with your bare hands, but perhaps it would be wise to start on something less dangerous. Last, report to Gornek. He should be able to assign a task better suited to a young hunter. You will find Gornek in the den to the west. Speak with Gornek. You recall Kautunk marking your map with his location and mentioning that Gornek resided in the den, a building to the west. I almost wouldn't even want to use the map, but I guess you can kind of minimize it. Oh, I don't know about that. I mean, I do know the zones obviously pretty well, but let's see what all the trainers say if you try to talk to them. They're usually dicks to you, right? I don't have time for this. I don't train your kind hunter. Find your own trainer before you anger me. What can I do for you? Oh, so you can already learn that just right off the bat. I didn't even know that. I thought you at least would have to get to level 2 for it. Aspect of the monkey, level 4, level 4, level 6. We don't get anything at level 2. That's weird. Huh, that's almost... that might be one of the only classes where that's the case. You at least get like a buff or something.
Relax.
Mage trainer.
You come get the
Greetings, Hunter. I pity your kind, for the secrets of magic are beyond you. I still have a mana bar, though.
Be careful, man. Look hard.
May the spirits be with you. She's always nice enough. You be watching yourself, Hunter. Respect our ways, or a curse be on you and yours. This is just some food vendor, chef vendor. So, like, even professions I would try to, like, max out or whatever, but I would have to do it on my own. Right? Like, there's no auction house use. Like, what else could players do to help you without you wanting them to? Without you being able to stop it? I guess they could help you kill stuff. Just if they're out and about, which it doesn't seem like there's anybody here. Yeah, this is exactly what I wanted. The one time we're dead, a dead server and dead games is a good thing. Let's see who else there is to talk to generally here. This is literally how I would play a single player game. Just as exhaustive. But it doesn't work as well here because it would take even longer. I mean, just think about how long 1 to 60 takes anyway. That's why people do that stupid, like, power leveling through dungeons and stuff. There's that lumberjack quest where you have to whack. Oh, shit. All these fucking things I gotta get used to. Change the camera. Auto follow. How do you stop it? Let you free look when the camera is on the ground. Simulate head bombing when in first person perspective. Let's actually see what that looks like. I guess you can kind of sense it there. It almost makes me kind of want to do that. You do a first person Dark Souls playthrough where you use like the fucking binoculars as like a mage or something at least. I don't know how it would work in melee as well, but I kind of want to be able to do this. So what is the setting that governs that? Colorblind mode, accessibility, mouse. Auto follow. Feed. How about just turn off auto follow altogether? Set the camera to stay where you're placed even when your character is moving. Only when moving. How about just never, and then we can just do whatever we want like that. Yeah, I almost didn't play on the Horde very much at all. I think my Death Knight might have been on Horde just to try that. But yeah, I was a human mage, human warrior. In fact, like, not only was I mostly Alliance, but I was mostly just human, in fact.
Strength and honor.
Your will is not strong enough to manipulate the forces we control, Hunter.
Victory.
You're no warlock, and I have no time for you. Be gone. He's even more of a dick. He's just a fucking pet trainer. See, even these minor upgrades from shopkeepers are going to matter now, because I'm not going to have, like, any kind of overpowered bullshit.
For the Horde, what do you need?
Yeah, that's fine. Get the Hearthstone, you get the food and the drink, which might be a factor that we keep a little bit. I don't train your kind, Hunter. Even the whole pet management aspects are very fun, like having to feed them food all the time. A lot of stuff that maybe they got rid of or they kind of played down over time. You have to feed them. You have to keep them happy. If they die too much, right, they start to dislike you. There's a loyalty system. Having to manage the ammo, like all these little things. And that's just for one class. Like, other classes won't have to deal with that. But then you'll have, like, soul shards and stuff. A lot of just good old school RPG elements that they either don't have anymore, or, like I said, they just try to make everything too streamlined. The Valley of Trials will temper even the weakest into a strong warrior worthy to join the Horde. Those who cannot rise to its test will be left to bake in the scorching desert sun. What you think about this is like an adult character, right? You're not like a kid or something. So you were living here like your whole life in the Valley of Trials just waiting for this, or did you come from somewhere else? I don't really get that part. Like, everybody, you come into these starting zones like you're just born here. It makes more sense like with the undead, because you're like coming out of the crypt or whatever. Right? That's a little bit different, being raised as an undead. But like, I guess you just lived here your whole life and then fucking decide you're ready now. You're placed in the world. Another, how come it didn't scroll like that? I guess it doesn't matter, but your place in the world. Another one of, I guess because it's, no, it probably should still do it. Another one of Kaltung's recruits, huh? A sorry state of affairs we find ourselves in if this is the best the Horde can produce. No matter, by the time we think you're ready to leave the valley, you'll be a proud warrior of the Horde. Oh, here we go. Now it's doing it. Cutting teeth. First order of business is to put a little strength in your backbone. I could send you to the Barrens to hunt Kodo, but well, in all honesty, you're more useful to us dead than alive. Or alive than dead. I believe you will find a good match with the mottled boars you'll find in the north of here. Kill 10 boars and return to Gornek at the den. Thoughtful boots, leather gloves. Are you the war chief now? Yeah, what even happens to the whole war chief lineage? It starts with Thrall, but then it goes to like Vol'jin, and then it goes to... No, it goes to Garrosh, I think, then Vol'jin, then like Sylvanas, which was really stupid. Yeah, let's just do some basic killing of mobs. It'll be simple enough. Can't really kite them around too much because you have to be standing still for that. So if I press T there, actually it doesn't work the way I thought it did. Where like it'll auto shoot. It'll try to attack them with their weapon even from a distance, which is kind of stupid. Right, so that's like... For some reason I thought it always used to work like that. Maybe that was in a later expansion. Like it just knows that you're a backpack. Let's actually read some of these. An item... Yeah, fuck that. Rip pig. This is like the meme from South Park where, oh yeah, kill 1,000,000 boars, even though that's not how the game works at all. So they'll stop giving you experience after a while, but obviously they must have known that. Just for some reason they thought it would still be funny. You gotta get 100% accurate. Make love, not Warcraft. Yeah, think about like in 2004, right? Would these mechanics have been acceptable in a single player game context? And I think they probably would be. Almost like, I don't know. It's hard to compare it to single player games, I guess, but just the size of it is fucking insane. You think about one zone can almost constitute a whole game. You could make a single player version of WoW if they were so inclined. Of course, they didn't even make Warcraft 4. where like the game would just be called Duratar, and it would just be the experience of getting from level 1 to 10, and that would take like fucking 20 hours and be the whole thing. It's just amazing to think about what MMOs do sort of unleash in that way. The first MMO I played was Tibia, which was very impressive and much older. Came out in like 97, but I didn't play it obviously then. But it's like, you know, it just blew my mind with how big it was compared to anything else I had played. And so normally my standard was like, oh, like normally a game takes like 24 hours of in-game time to beat at most, right? That would be considered long. But with that, it's like you can't even fucking get to level 10 by then or whatever. And that was like way more punishing too, because it's like, if you would die in that, you would lose levels and you would lose your gear and stuff. So PvP became kind of insane. I played that, and then I basically just played WoW. I didn't play too many other MMOs, honestly. I've tried a lot of them in brief amounts, but you would think I should really try EverQuest, because if they still have like classic servers available, I think they do, just to kind of see, because people always said that. It's like playing Magic the Gathering after playing Hearthstone. People always said for years, like, oh, you know, Hearthstone copied... What do you call it? Hearthstone copied Magic. So, okay, WoW copied... What the fuck are you doing on my server, dude? Hearthstone copied Magic, so WoW copied EverQuest. And sure, I don't doubt that it obviously took inspiration, but I don't think that really... Yeah, right. I don't think that really diminishes the greatness of WoW nonetheless. There's nothing I could experience in EverQuest that would take away from this. But... I would still be curious to try it. Have you tried Dragonica Dragon Saga back then? No, I don't think I did, no. What were some of the other famous MMOs then? Like Ultima Online or A Sharon's Call, I think Wreckful like that one? I think that was the one, right? A Sharon's Call. I haven't tried any of those actually, but the problem is you wouldn't be able to stream them, I don't think, because you'd have to go on a private server or something. I don't think there are official servers up for some of those. One of the worst browser-based MMOs, really. I don't think I've even... Oh, I think I played RuneScape in a browser or whatever. RuneScape was great, but the only thing I didn't like about it was the fucking moving. Right? You have to, like, click to move, and there's no other option. This just is so smooth, the way you just kind of comfortably do everything. It's so intuitive. So, I'm gonna run out of fucking ammo sometime soon. Oh, I shouldn't even be fighting these. Shit. To be a little bit careful. I like not even being able to see my health values and stuff. I really want to be able to Alt-Z. How the fuck do you change this GeForce experience dog shit? One little fuck up, if you aggro 2 or 3 things, could mean death for you. That's what made this level experience actually kind of fun, is that even as you get to a higher level and your gear gets better and stuff, there's always the sense, you know, if you aggro too many things or an elite or, you know, something a little higher than your level, it could be pretty bad. So yeah, Warrior was the toughest one that I did, 1 to 60. Priest was moderate. Rogue was a joke. So obviously I won't be doing dungeons or anything that would... I mean, I could still. At level 40, I could solo Dead Mines if I was so inclined or something like that, but I wouldn't really take a chance. That is like another hard mode way to do it. Like, see what the earliest level you can possibly solo a dungeon is. So this I got just because I leveled up, I guess. There is nothing I can learn from this. Okay, let me try to see what I can do. I wonder, does this even show up on the stream? It doesn't. The little overlay. How do I change the keybind from Alt-Z to something else? Or maybe I can change the keybind in the game for...
Stay away from the voodoo.
I don't know if that even... Miscellaneous. Alt plus... Oh, here we go. Toggle user interface. So instead of Alt-Z, let's make it like Alt... How do you even bind it to like multiple things? Oh shit. Minimap zoom. Okay, it doesn't save that, I guess. What is something that is not bound to anything? Like this? Okay. Now, if I tap that, oh, here we go. This is beautiful. And not that I'll play the whole game like you could do that. Like play it like this. No UI, first person, hardcore, permadeath fucking mode. That would be great. The problem is there's no good visual feedback on the first person. What they should have done is made it like Skyrim when they re-released Classic, where you can always see your character shooting the bow and stuff, right? Like I could do an ability now, but you won't see my hand. You'll see it coming out of me, but yeah, this is what we get for like walking around in towns and stuff, I suppose. So actually, I can't get a level 2 ability, but I can get the little tracking here. So let's go ahead and sell some shit. We can repair whatever little amount of... So I'm assuming this is pretty authentic. Like, they haven't changed the experience rates and stuff. Because they have, like, that season of change, whatnot, and dumb stuff. Maybe try shooting Blackrock Depths. Soloing Blackrock Depths. That could be something you could do maybe in... Tier 3, I'm not sure actually if you could. People even soloed like Onyxia and well, not in vanilla, maybe in BC. There's all kinds of crazy shit though people trying to do. I remember soloing AQ in Wrath and feeling like even that was kind of impressive. AQ 40. It almost doesn't feel possible with some of the, you know, how you have to deal with the twin emperors and stuff, but
What do you need?
wait, what was going on out there? Oh, there's a quest, like, go to your class trainer, which is, like, right next to her. I wonder if she gives it to you no matter what. That's why it makes sense. Because otherwise... oh, no, this is something else completely. Vile Familiars. I trust the Valley of Trials will teach you much, young hunter. I was sent to the... Has anybody ever actually done this? I'm sure over time they have, but even in my first experience playing the game, I never read the quest text. Because it's just so overwhelming that you wouldn't even want to at the beginning. You just want to try the game. It's like reading books in Skyrim. Nobody expects you to read them the first time you see them, but then you get so immersed in the game after hundreds of hours, then you feel like, okay, now I will sit down after a long adventure and do it. And didn't read it either. Is Nax out? Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what state this game is actually in right now. Like, everything should be out, and it's just done, but I don't know exactly what happened to it. They just kind of froze it in time, I guess. I was sent to the valley to guide you, but I have discovered a growing taint here. A group that calls itself the Burning Blade has a coven here in the Valley of Trials. They are skulking in a cave to the northeast, and their vile familiars have spilled from its mouth to cause havoc. As your first task against the Burning Legion, Burning Blade, we're not at the Burning Legion yet, I bid you defeat these familiars, slay many, and if you survive, return to me. Kill 12 vile familiars. As if somebody would tell you that. Like, kill exactly 12. If there's a couple more, just ignore them. Or if there's less, wait till they have kids and then, like, it's so specific. Return to Zaretha Fargate outside the inn. You get a couple good weapons here. We'll only be able to use the axe. Yeah, it's interesting to see, like, how some of the lore developed over time. Like, you're already starting and you're already fighting fucking demons. Like, it does seem like, compare that to what you were just doing, like, with boars and stuff. Or, like, try to think of, like, the other areas. Like, humans fight the Defias, and they fight, you know, wolves and boars and stuff. We're fighting warlocks and demons and all kinds of crazy crap. I don't know. Like, which starting leveling zone would have the toughest sort of real-world implication to the enemies? This is, like, night sabers, and there are some demons there, too. It's just kind of cool how many different enemy types they gave you to fight against. Right, like the old god stuff was in the background with some of the Nerubian enemies, even in the Barrens and whatnot. They just planned like really, really far ahead. I don't think that text would ever change, right? Temper, the weakest warrior. Yeah, I think we've seen that. Cutting teeth, not bad, but don't let it get to your head. You'll fight tougher than boars in your career. Nonetheless, at least he has faith in my run then, that I won't die to a boar now and fucking delete my character. Nonetheless, you've proven yourself well, and your next trial will be against a considerably more dangerous opponent, so you'll need some extra protection. The Scorpion, right? 21 and 7. I guess we don't have anything in either slot. Etch tablet, so this will be the class quest. While you were gone, a tablet came for you. Read it when you have time. If I'm not mistaken, it came from the hunter trainer, Jen Shan. She would have words with you when you're ready, and we can learn the little beast tracking thing too. Sing of the Scorpion. They're not really that long, honestly. I don't even mind reading them. Powerful warrior and awkward awkward novice alike have fallen to the venomous sting of the scorpion. You will find large numbers of scorpion northwest of here. Bring me 10 of their tails as proof of your prowess in battle. The antidote for their sting is actually made from venom extracted from their stingers. We keep large quantities of antidote for scorpion venom on hand, but you won't give me any when I'm going to kill them. That's the fucking stupid part. It's just a test. Large quantities for antidote on hand to heal young bloods like you, except not now. But I'm sure you won't be... Oh, he even says that. But I'm sure you won't be needing any of that now, will you? Get 10 workers' tails, and we really don't have... You always start off like half fucking naked. Etch tablet. It'll be a world first reading all quest text run. That's why I'm not doing Alliance either, because I think when I was doing the other ones, I actually did read most of... Well, I won't say most of it, but a lot of it. Not that I would remember it now. But it's not that like, oh, I'm playing it for the first time since actual Classic. I'm playing it for the first time since like 2 years ago when they first released whatever, you know, Classic actually. Or actually, it's, why am I saying 2 years? It's been fucking 4 years. I'm still caught in the habit of saying 2 years because that's like, I don't know. That's how long I took a break from streaming from 2019 to like 2021. But it's not, yeah, I'm like caught in the past. Let's read the tablet first, I guess. It'd be good to hear that one of Genshan's sisters be coming to the valley to test her skill. One of Genshan's sisters. Looking forward to that. Me not be having to tell, oh, these are going to be annoying to read the troll text. Tell you how strong and cunning a hunter you will be. You already know that. It's my task to tell you how to get stronger and more cunning. You will find her in... Isn't this her? Like, why is she being so mysterious about it? We've already talked to you. I guess not in canonically, though. We could have learned that spell, though. She teach you how... She teach you good. She teach you how to be tame the greatest beast among many other things. No, you won't teach me how to train beasts. You don't get that until, like, fucking level 10, and it'll be a totally different area, right? You get that, like, in Razor Hill. It's lying to me. Level 2 Pog. So they refer to themselves in third person. What else did I... Oh, there's another quest here. Not to say I'll do every single quest, but I don't see why not. Unless it's something that says, oh, go kill elites or something, then obviously I know better.
Speak, friend.
Galgar's Cactus Apple Surprise. It sure gets hot out here in the Valley of Trials. Wipes his brow. Did he actually do that physically? I didn't even see it. If only I had some cactus apples, I could make my famous Cactus Apple Surprise. Nothing cools you off faster than a piece of that delicious treat. There's some sort of internal lore contradiction with, like, the undead and gutter speak, because it's like... I guess they maybe know Orcish too, but the undead were supposed to be outcast in that sense. Like, the trolls and orcs and Tauren wouldn't understand what the undead are saying naturally, right? They would have to assimilate or learn like another language. I'll tell you what. If you bring me 10 cactus apples, I'll make you a few portions of cactus apple surprise to take with you on your adventures. If you're interested, you can find cactus apples growing near the cactus plants around here. Gather 10 apples. Make sure you remember him saying they could be found near cactuses. So you get him 10 of them to make 10 surprises, so he basically doesn't get anything out of it. Remain seated. This kind of introduces that mechanic to you, I guess, that, you know, you can get buffs from pieces of food. That'll be my rating. All that stuff will be meaningful because it's like you only have one life, so you know, whatever little buffs you can do, you will. And I'm not going to, like, do something min-max over the top unless I just naturally come across it. Yeah, there is no auction house or anything like that. I'm trying to avoid talking to the trainer for some reason. I don't know why. We have enough money to obviously get the level 2 spell, which is just a simple tracking thing. Edge tablet. See a mighty hunter before her, and the spirits do approve. Well, the spirits told Vol'jin to fucking refer Sylvanas to be the war chief. So what do you have to say about them now? Or I guess that was maybe the old gods' influence doing it. I don't even know the lore from Cataclysm on, really. Just like little bits and pieces of it. The path of the hunter is one of our oldest walks of life. The horde turned to us when they be just struggling to survive on Azeroth, and they ask us to teach them, to show them the secrets of many things. Many things. They were strong already, strong in shaman ways, strong in warrior ways, but the hunter path not be their path. Then, oh, so they're trying to say that the trolls taught orcs how to be hunters. And obviously, only Taurens can become druids. Turn to us when they were struggling to survive. Okay, so they take kind of ownership of that class. I didn't even know that. Now we teach them those things, and they teach us others. We become one race almost. We be allies for a long time now. See, the gnomes and the trolls were like the shit classes that everybody, or the races that everybody made fun of because they just kind of latched onto the humans and the orcs. And so the thing about the barons that made it such a mean place was because it's not just coincidence as it's such a big zone or whatever. 3 different races meet there for level 10 to 20. Whereas with the Alliance, it's different, right? Like, okay, you go from Elwyn Forest, but then you go to Westfall. The gnomes and dwarves go from Dun Morrow to Loch Madan. And then the Night Elves obviously go to Darkshore. So there's only one shared leveling zone, right? Is Loch Madan for gnomes and dwarves. But for the Horde, you obviously have Turrisfall Glades and Silverpine Forest for undead. But for these ones, you have all 3, Taurens, Trolls, and Orcs all share the Barrens. There is no other leveling zone, right? Stone Talon is like 15 plus, so that's why you have so much fucking trolling going on in that chat, right? Like, maybe it's not something people thought about, like, it just is a coincidence or it's such a big zone. In a way, it's kind of a bad thing, right? That's kind of like where they said they give preferential treatment to the Alliance, and then they tried to finish off the Horde development very quickly at the end. They kind of rushed it. So yeah, like, if you're a troll, you level in Durotar. If you're an orc, you level in Durotar, but then you converge in the Barrens, and then Taurens get kind of fucked over because you start off in the higher level part of the zone, right? You exit into Camp Tarajo, and there's level 20s and shit, so that's so fucking bullshit. Then you have to go all the way up to the crossroads to actually be safe. In fact, Tauren might be one of the harder classes to do this with then, because how the fuck would you... It's like if it's like the Night Elf run to the wetlands or whatever. Not that you have to do that, but Mighty Hunter, blah, blah, blah. Wait, why are you saying this again? Teach you the way of the hunter, teach you good. They teach us, we become one race, long time now. You remember to help them, remember to help you. Teach you the ways of the hunter, teach you good. You never forget the hunters to be respected greatly by the tribe. You be having a larger role to play in the future, never forget that. When you feel the need, come to me. I'll teach you as much as you can when you feel ready. Okay. Rack Beast is fine. No reason not to keep that on. Survival. Yeah, we can do a survival melee hunter build. This is kind of one of the easier classes that you could do, I suppose, just because you can hide behind the pet so much. So we have a couple different quests. Basically, just kill everything here except for the boars. It does kind of annoy me that there's actually people here. I thought this game was completely fucking dead. Like, really, how would you... There are actually people here. That's kind of hard to believe. So I wonder if a normal server means that in contested zones, you will have to deal with PvP still, because that would be kind of unfortunate. Because again, dying to a player or even a player trolling me by like pulling some mob into me or something would still absolutely count. So I'm sure there's all kinds of ways to do that. Pull Kazakh to the fucking Stormwind, whatever, however they did that. I remember seeing that actually firsthand too. Somebody had done that. I forget what expansion you could really do that in. But there was a long period of time where they didn't fix that. It almost felt like they just didn't care. Like, if you're really willing to go through that much trouble to pull him there, so be it. So, like, all the Stormwind guards would fight him and stuff. What other kind of fun events like that happened? Like the Corrupted Blood thing, right? Where everybody's pets and stuff would cycle through the Hakar debuff to everybody in town. That lasted for, like, a couple days, too, I think. Or then they had, like, the Ghoul invasion at the beginning of Wrath, which I'm sure they recreated before releasing Wrath Classic. That was kind of a fun one. I forget exactly how it worked, but I remember seeing, like, the necropolis is over town and stuff. The fact that Kel'Thuzad is the final boss of Classic is actually a great sort of writing technique that it's like, if he's that badass to be, you know, the final boss of this, that's making the Lich King seem that much more badass, right? Like, it almost feels like, oh, that's underwhelming. We're only fighting Kel'Thuzad as a 40-man raid as the final boss of the whole thing, but it was kind of justified. We need one more of these, then we'll have to do the lazy peon one, I think, coming up pretty soon. I don't even want to make necessarily a ton of progress today, but this is kind of just showing the pace and the thoroughness with which I'll do this. And a lot of it will be fresh still, because not only have I not really played this class much in vanilla, although I know how they work, obviously, it's just like that'll be fresh. And then the fact that obviously the pet aspect will be very fun, even if a little busted. But then even a lot of the lore and the fucking quest text and stuff. And like, I haven't played as Horde too much either, so that was kind of what I said originally. Like, oh, I want to get to 1 to 60 on every class, but that you don't realize how fucking long that actually takes. Or I guess people could just power level and do stupid stuff, but then that takes the whole fun out of it. The best part of this game can be the leveling experience, right? I understand people love raiding and this and that, but I did a little bit of it, but it doesn't have to be like the end all be all. So we can use berserking, but it does actually make you take more damage, right? At full health, the speed increases 10%, and the greater effect up to 30% if you're badly hurt. I feel like it didn't used to say that. Or maybe I'm only thinking of it from when they changed it in a different expansion. This doesn't seem right. Doesn't it say you take more damage? Or maybe that's the Orcs one that kind of has a similar vibe to it. As long as you can get 3 solid shots, that's not bad. You go in for the finisher with the melee hunter. Gotta watch out for debuffs and fucking dots and stuff. See, like, now this is the Witcher lesson that we learned, right? Never go into combat when you're not at full health. That is a fucking rule of permadeath that you should never forget. That cost us the whole Witcher series. We were playing the Witcher 1 and I was doing so well at the beginning and I was getting immersed, and then I fucking get cocky and go into a bunch of dogs at like half HP. So if I just went in normally, there's no way I would have died. And I had like 100 healing items. You just get too complacent sometimes. Actually, I'm not even sure what spec I would want to do. I don't think I'll do like some generic, predictable marksmanship type of thing. I'll do something a little bit unique. Probably Beast Mastery would be the ultimate degenerate thing. I might actually do survival. I want to see what... I forget what's actually in there. A lot of them are just like one-off things though, like even Wyvern Sting or whatever. It's not going to be that good for PvE. Aim shot is obviously amazing. So this guy's going to give you a quest to kill that Sarkoth or whatever it is, the big scorpion boss. Oh shit, this one we only got 2 shots off. It was pretty punishing with the range. I remember it was such a big cuck for hunters though. They would always have like I remember doing that even as a warrior. They would have their fucking aspect of the cheetah or whatever on, aspect of the pack, and then you would just shoot them with your own bow, and then they'd get fucking dazed for the whole fight. Or like you would do heroic throw or something. This must have been in Wrath. I mean, I only played as a warrior in Wrath, so I guess... Yeah, I hate that whole thing about, like, you know, people mistaking borrowed knowledge and acting like they know everything or they've done everything when they obviously couldn't have. It's not easy. That is totally like a chess elitist argument, too. Oh, the engine solved this position, but that doesn't mean that you know how to solve it or that you've done it. The whole fun is, like, right, knowing is half the battle. Anybody can just look up. Imagine playing single player games like that. Like, oh yeah, everybody has an optimal build for Dark Souls or Elden Ring or whatever. But the whole fun is you want to come up with one yourself as you're just playing. And it might turn out to be the optimal build anyway, but... Nice little crit. What is our crit chance anyway? 5%. I forget how that works in the context of range stuff. And it would really only matter... That almost makes it look like a bug where it's cloned, but it's not. Like... Because, yeah, only hunters really care that much about range stuff, so... It doesn't actually show you the crit, I don't think, outright. The concussive shot is obviously a big thing that we gotta use a lot. We can always just respec, but gold isn't going to be that abundant because we're going to have to get it just from more RP leveling ways, right? We're not going to be able to sell stuff in the auction house or whatever. Even if we just skin stuff and vendor the stuff to, you know, NPCs, that still gives you a decent amount. Just do like skinning and herbalism or skinning and mining. That was always a good way to do it either way. And then just power level the fucking professions at level 60. But of course I won't do that. I might do like leather working so that I can actually maybe make stuff that's relevant, even though it's going to be shitty. We're not going to have dungeon gear to work with, so you know, that might be the next best thing. It'll make stuff relevant that wouldn't normally seem to be relevant for you. So any quest that you do will give you like some random shitty green, but it'll actually be what I have to use. I'll try to do maybe some leveling zones that I wouldn't normally have done. Although, like I said, a lot of the horde ones aren't really super tired out for me anyway. But yeah, like what would my path be? Like instead of going here, we'll go to Silverpine Forest, or we'll just try to mix it up. So we got those 10. What were the other quests? Vile Familiars, and we already got that. Hunter, I thought I would die out here with none to know of it. Well, now somebody will know of it, so I'll just be on my way. While I was hunting the scorpions of the valley, I came across a particularly vicious-looking one. Hurling myself at it, I managed to inflict a massive blow to its claw before it closed around my leg. I wasn't ready for its stinger, though, and it sliced down my chest, cutting into my flesh and letting my blood. Please, you must kill the scorpion for me. My honor must be upheld. I fought it up on the plateau to the south. Kill Sarkoth and bring his claw back to Hanazuwa. Forget about bringing him medical attention, am I right? Nobody gives a shit about that. Oh, you should always try to... Such an epic story. You should try to read this, I guess. Or maybe this will appear when you go to turn it in anyway. This is kind of spoiling it. My father always said I would never amount to much, and here, lying beneath the tree as my life seeps away, I'm afraid it looks as though he was right. At least I wish to die knowing my last enemy in life lays dead. Baited. I didn't actually kill him yet. So let's go actually do this one first. It's not like a level up and be... I mean, you could just over level yourself, right? Like, all the time, so you're always safe. But we're going to have the pet as one degenerate tactic, so we don't need more than that. I feel like some of these were aggressive. Some of these scorpions, but I guess not. Now, as soon as you get to the Vile Familiars, they actually will be aggressive. Why is the time so far off? Realm time, local time. Oh. These can be a little bit maybe tricky if you aggro too many together, but they don't even cast spells at you. Like the fucking Defias Pillagers were so broken. They would do like 100 damage with spells, which would be like level 40 enemies that do almost just the same. It was so weird. Like level 15 casters. I guess they were somehow scaled up because, oh, they're supposed to be outside the dungeon, so they're almost treated as like elites, but something about it just didn't work. Try to think about like what pitfalls lead to you dying at a low level. It could just be like encountering an elite or pulling too many mobs, not having enough abilities to really get out of a situation. Right, so as soon as we get to these aggressive type enemies, we do have to approach it a little bit carefully. Always pull everything away. I mean, range classes in general are always going to be easier because you never have to worry about just going in. Or even then, you would still pull them out with like a throwing knife or some shit. Play it like you're playing a single player dungeon. You know, that's basically what these caves can be. It is actually quite dangerous. Because you'll get like respawns and shit. That's why having other people are so annoying, because they could fuck you over. You'll be like, oh, I just killed every enemy in the thing, so I'm safe. You know there's not going to be respawns. But then somebody else fucks up the timing or something. But then conversely, they could save you too. But I kind of just don't want that to be a factor. This is the best you're going to get, though. All right, there's one guy here, so fuck him. So we have 4 out of 12. We don't even really have to go inside. We'll wait for the next quest to do that. Right? That's kind of how these are designed. They'll let you go step by step by step, very slowly. But then it'll tell you to kill the Fell Hunters and something too. Or maybe just the boss of the dungeon. Whatever the guy's name is. 17 armor, 17 armor. You got our best in slot level 2 fucking gear just from the questing path, at least. You could just twink yourself out to do this, which is, I guess it wouldn't invalidate the fact that you're doing it, but like still getting to 160 without dying, but it's just kind of stupid. It's not even like this is that hard. It's just that if you aggro 2 or 3 things, so now we actually don't have any bag space. We have to remember to buy some ammo. Actually, I'm going to get caught out dying because of that. Not that my melee is even that bad, but I haven't used this. For some reason, I feel like this made you take more damage. I really don't get that. Not that I've hardly ever played as a troll, but it's not really that big of a deal anyway. So you gotta keep an eye on your mana conservation too. Melee ability that takes up mana. Who would have thought? So we have 8 out of 12. Yeah, we'll just skirt the outside, clear a path, and then they'll respawn by the time I pick up the next quest to come back here. Especially since we're gonna go and fucking fight Sarkoth first. But yeah, I think the leveling rates are actually pretty much how they were originally. I don't think they would have changed them. But how would I know? It'd be hard to tell just from doing it. You don't even have any fucking abilities. Yeah, we're gonna get like Serpent Sting, Arcane Shot. I mean, the auto-attacking aspect would be one of the biggest arguments against why the combat can get boring and repetitive, but somehow, just within the I mean, you still do, like, fill up your fucking bar with so many abilities, but then a lot of them end up being contextual. Like, you only use this once as a cooldown if you're about to die, or to CC something. They're not really stuff you use on a regular basis. But then again, what are we comparing it to? Like, you'd have to see, like, other MMOs. Like, what did they really have at that time that was so much better that people would, like, fucking... every game was going to be the WoW killer. No fucking... I wonder if you could just have an ignore setting overall. They might help, but I'm not allowed to get help. I can't believe people are actually playing. Yeah, this is one thing that makes you grateful, like the Obra Dinn, right? One thing that makes me happy to be a small streamer. Otherwise, I would get trolled and people would somehow fuck me over. Or they would just make it less fun because they would try to help too much. Why am I even killing these? I'm over leveling. I'm power leveling. Invalidates the whole thing. Okay, let's go back. We're going to kill Sarkoth, who I forget exactly how you get there. I have done even these quests, even though I keep saying, oh, I've never played as Horde. I think Candy Crush is the WoW killer. They did make a version of that, right? In fact, they had some kind of WoW integration, I remember, where like you could play Candy Crush from inside of the game or something. Yeah, imagine that. Maybe somebody started playing Plants vs. Zombies because they saw the quest in Wrath, I think it was, that referenced it or something. Totally wasn't how I discovered it. And here we are fucking 15 years later still playing it. He said it's like up on a land there. It must be like that. So this is like just a slightly tougher enemy type, but it's not going to be a elite, obviously, at this low level. But yeah, any quest that requires me to do that. Am I even on ATS? Oh, there's some weird like server overlap thing that's like... Oh shit, I'm just like walking right into him. What the fuck am I doing? Imagine if you aggro... Oh my god. Imagine if an ad aggro's with that too. He just looked too small. Okay, it's not that big of a deal, but... that's the kind of carelessness that will get you killed. He just looks so tiny. They should totally have had some kind of integration to let you play Hearthstone in the game, and not even in like a to launch the game from there, but literally to like you sit on a table and like RP the act of playing it. I don't know how exactly they would have done it, but Because that's the whole point, is like, that's why it's called Hearthstone. You would play it like in an inn or whatever and just relax after a long adventure. Like, even though I can say like, oh, I had good judgment for quitting WoW like around 2011, and like a lot of people stayed on and kept complaining about it, Asmongold notably, like, just unable to let it go. And then I played so many other great games since then that I never had the chance to, or I might never have done. But then I ended up playing Hearthstone so much, so it almost filled the same space. You just can't quit Blizzard completely, but, you know, their biggest mistake was not making Warcraft 4 for a lot of reasons, but the most of which could have been the lore, right? Like how Warcraft 3 sets the stage and lore for the vanilla. Kel'Thuzad's left behind by Arthas. He goes to the thing, so he's left behind to watch over the Plague Lands. It sets up all the different lore characters, Sylvanas and stuff. It sets up TBC with Kael'thas and Vosh and Illidan and Kil'jaeden and Archimonde in the backdrop. Although Archimonde's dead, but they do the little fucking whatever, Caverns of Time. And then it finally sets up, of course, Arthas and the Lich King itself. So, like, all of that was set perfectly. The first 3 expansions were set up by Warcraft 3, which is why it was so cohesive and just worked so well. So they needed a Warcraft 4 by the end of Wrath, which they had plenty of time to do that. They had from 2004, 2003, 2004 to 2008, 9 to get Warcraft 4 done and set the stage for the next 3 expansions or whatever, right? I thought that's what they were trying to do, but obviously they just completely fucking gave up. You have done well. Although the vile familiars were merely the pets of the darker powers within the Burning Blade, your success against them foretells greater deeds ahead. Fuck. Let's go sell our stuff first. So the food is fine. I don't really feel the need to make a point to keep too much of it, but you tend to get a pretty good chance to get a bunch of bags here in these low-level areas. Which you kind of have to, because how else am I going to get them? I can't get them from auction house. I hope Blizzard will never try to reforge something again. Oh yeah, they made the nice little remake that everybody loves so much too. Tough jerky. I don't really know which stuff out. Who's he talking to? 17. I guess we're gonna get the, I don't know. I don't want to regret like not having healing items if and when I really need them. What I need is these people are on different servers too. I don't get it. I picked some other weird like old what was it called? I don't know.
Blood and thunder.
Old Blanchy or something was the name of the server. Okay, so we need a bunch of ammo, which I don't actually know who sells it.
Go for a victory.
Right, but somebody here must sell it. That's actually odd. I can't think of... Because then you'll just be fucked on ammo, or maybe you have to go all the way to Razor Hill before that. We have 3 quests to turn in, 4 quests to turn in, so that'll certainly level me up. Get a little mini-boss encounter of Sarkoth. Who would sell it? Huh. There's no general goods here. It's possible that they actually don't, which would be insane. So you're really supposed to last on 200 shots for the whole fucking... up until Razor Hill. That's impossible. Let me check these other shops again. Yeah, it's always got to be like a general goods store or something like that. Rogue Trainer. Oh, I don't think I talked to him. I don't train your kind hunter. At least he's not a complete dick about it. Cloth and leather armor. Weaponsmith, armor and shield crafter. That's actually interesting. I really don't know how you would get ammo here. Maybe some quest will just give you some, but you shouldn't have to rely on that. Okay, let's see what this one was. Thing of the Scorpid. Valley of Trials will temper even the weakest warrior, strongest. Oh yeah, we read that. The carapace of a scorpion isn't so thick that the strength of a determined warrior will be deterred. Strike strongly and without doubt, and the scorpion should prove easy prey. There is an important lesson that you must take away from fighting scorpions. The smallest and largest of opponents can still send you to your doom. In fierce combat, any number of things can prove to be your downfall. I have no more to teach you. You have done well, and I will watch your progress with interest. We don't have a belt at all, so let's just do that. Level up. Now we can actually learn some other abilities here. That's kind of bizarre that ammo is so hard to get. Maybe somebody in Senjin Village sells some. Or maybe one of these people is a vendor. Yeah, I feel like these starting areas typically don't have the greatest... And yeah, why do people even like that? Wetlands run so much? Because if you go to fucking Elwyn Forest or Westfall or something, you're not going to have a druid trainer. So you'll have to go back to Darnassus every single time and then make the trek again. There'd be no other way to do it. Aspect of the monkey. Serpent Sting, finally your first ability. This will be level 6, level 6.
Stay away from the voodoo.
You have done well, Ragor. Although the vile familiars were merely the pets of darker powers with... Oh, I already read that because I couldn't pick this shit up. Through my divinations, I see that an item of power hides deep within the Burning Blade Coven, guarded by beasts and black magic. It is called the Burning Blade Medallion, and your next task is to find it and remove it from the Coven. How do you just, like, turn off? I guess I won't, but... I don't know. Somehow I find that a little annoying sometimes. But be wary, for the medallion may be possessed by an agent of the Burning Blade, and so, if the agent's power would already be greater than the familiars you have already encountered, you may find the Coven in the west, in a cave, to the north and the west. Bring the Blade Medallion to them outside the den. Get some healing potions, which I certainly won't say that I'm not allowed to do that, but they have a cooldown. That's one thing, actually, single-player RPGs like Skyrim could learn from some of these MMOs and stuff is... how, you know, there's that meme in Skyrim, like you stuff your face with 100 potatoes during combat. There should be a cooldown on any kind of healing item or ability, or not even ability necessarily, but you shouldn't be able to just spam potions or spam food and stuff. If you finish collecting cactus apples, or you just shouldn't be able to use them in combat at all. As promised, here is your cactus apple surprise with a little something extra. Wonderful.
May your blades never dull.
Okay, so I still haven't solved the ammo issue. Sounds delicious. 100 potatoes. Yeah, you could just gorge your face while fighting stuff. Oh, we have to go back to that other guy. That might be almost all you have to do here in the tutorial area. Right, then they'll give you a quest after this one to go to, like, Senjin Village. Which is technically an exception to... It's not like Senjin Village is the middle ground town like Goldshire or Razor Hill. It's just kind of its own little entity. And then you can stay in Senjin Village almost to level 10 if you do all like the Raptor quests and stuff, where you go to the Isles. Those are like the most pathetic things ever. Like, you have to wait like 3 expansions just to take over these few little islands, or as a gnome, you have to wait like 3 expansions to take over fucking Gnomergon, like a level 30 dungeon. Or I guess to decontaminate it or whatever, but look at how much shit is on the screen there. That would be almost scary if they were actually hostile. That is one of those immersion breaking elements, but it's necessary for an MMO. Not with like random beasts, but with like human NPCs and stuff. Like you aggro one and the other one sees you killing its friend, but it'll just stand there and do nothing, right? Like it won't. You're clearly in its peripheral vision, but otherwise it would be impossible. My father always said I would bring... Never amount to much. I think I already read that. Dying wish knows my enemy lies dead. My blow was not enough to kill him, but looking at the damage I inflicted gives me some smaller measure of pride. He was still at full health. That small measure will be all I have to sustain myself if I die. And in that light, the short list of my life's accomplishment fills me with anger. Okay. And now he's gonna beg for medical treatment, which he should have done in the first place. Seeing the deed you have done for me... steals my heart. I cannot fall so easily. I must endure. But it remains that I cannot make the trek back to the den unassisted. Please return to the den and tell Gornick of my situation. Perhaps he can help me. Soft wolf vest. It's like a scene from a movie where they're so dramatically talking to each other. Maybe you could have saved his life if you didn't have that fucking 10-minute monologue first. But they don't even try to. They just assume he's dead. Whoever it might be. Go swiftly. Okay, we'll do that, and then we'll do the Burning Blade thing. So maybe I'll just get to Senjin Village. That'd be good enough. What other class? I think I made, I can't remember. You would think I should do a mage just because I love mages so much, but that's kind of like... We've already played a mage so much. That's what's so awesome about any RPG, is if it's good enough and the classes are distinct enough, whether it be Diablo or Baldur's Gate, or it could be even Skyrim if you play it like a certain way, it gives you so much replay value because you can just play as like every class. And so even if you're doing relatively the same content, it can still make it feel different. Like even with Dark Souls, I kind of invented my own classes. 2.2, 2.0 DPS, okay.
Go forth to victory.
Very confused about the ammo aspect. I don't really understand how they could cuck you this hard. I guess they don't expect you to use too much of it. It's not like one of those games where you can pick up arrows off the dead bodies of stuff if you get like a clean shot or something.
What do you need?
From your description of the beast, I believe you must be speaking of Sarkoth. It is no wonder that Hanazuo was overtaken by it. Why? Because the beast is so impressive, or because he's such a moron? And aid will be dispatched to him immediately. Trouble yourself no more with this plight. However, I must say I'm most impressed to hear that you brought Sarkoth to his death. It is a feat to be proud of, and that you would fight for a stranger's honor while other tasks occupied your time. Your own honor is heightened. You could do this just because it'll probably sell for a lot, but I guess I don't have anything in the slot anyway. So now we finish the Burning Blade thing, and I'm sure Ascension Village at least should have ammo. I can't believe they would do that to you, though. One of the many, sometimes cruel aspects of Classic. This guy's gonna make me hit the peons. First peons, they work hard gathering lumber from the trees of the valley, but they're always taking naps. I need someone to keep them in line. You look like you're the right role for my task. Here, take this blackjack and use it on any lazy peons you find sleeping on the job. Good smack will get them right back to work. Return the blackjack when you're done. Lousy slacking peons. Use the foreman's blackjack on lazy peons while they're sleeping. Wake up 5 and return to the foreman's blackjack to him in the Valley of Trials. I think we're almost done with it already. I thought there were more quests here. What did they say? Oh, I'll get back to work. No more on NPCs in WoW. Beast is impressive. So what pet would I want to get? I almost want to get a raptor as an ode to my first pet. I do remember that. It was one of those red raptors I think you get right in the northern Durotar before you enter Orgrimmar, kind of. And then some of the better ones you won't be able to get because you have to get it like from Wailing Caverns or something, and I wouldn't take a chance on that. Or I guess you could get it at a much higher level, but then you have to make them catch up. Oh, they say the same thing too. Canned dialogue. But it is impressive, the scope of the lore in a game like this. Like, how the fuck did they... It's just kind of weird. Because think about what a risk it was for them, too. They had never made an MMO before. All they had made was, like, Warcraft 3 and, like, all the Warcraft games. And, obviously, StarCraft, Diablo. So, they had a certain amount of clout. But what if this game had failed? They would have obviously fucking just gone bankrupt, and that would have been it. They spent so long on it. They spent, obviously, a lot of money on it. It's hard to imagine how they even afforded it at that time. Their servers couldn't even handle the player base at the beginning. So they didn't expect it to even be as popular as it was. Whereas now it's just more like a lazy cynicality that, oh, they don't want to waste money on. Like, how hard would it be for them to keep up one server like this till the end of time? It wouldn't be anything at all. But they still wouldn't do it just because they're lazy and stupid and, oh, you think you do but you don't kind of nonsense. Somebody deserves to be fired over that comment. Like, dude. And now they're not only doing Classic, but then they did Classic BC and now Classic Wrath, and they'll keep going. Classic Mist of Pandaria. Maybe I should play those since I never got to experience them. Classic Cataclysm, or that would be a completely fresh experience for me. Not that I'm entirely jaded or, you know, convinced that these are completely exhausted for me either, but... So we can turn in the Lazy Peons one, but let's do this one first, I guess. The only thing I'm worried about is the arrow count. I don't really understand. It's not like I'm even overkilling stuff and wasting it too much. In fact, every encounter I'm only using like a couple shots. I'm sure they'll have something in Senjin Village. It'd be impossible if they didn't. Or I'll just walk my ass up to Razor Hill, I guess. I'm playing as a race that I've never really played as before. I'm playing as a gender I haven't played as before much. And so you know, mix it up. Even the faction is kind of a little bit fresh. 1, 2, 3 shots should be your average that you get. I don't think these actually hit all that much, but they didn't even get a chance. You know, you should be like overly cautious that you don't aggro stuff. Like I said, by the time we came back here, they would respawn. You should get to like level 7 or something before you go to Razor Hill, maybe. I mean, I'll be level 5 already. Yeah, I think I've played Elwyn Forest like way too much. That's like sensory deprivation syndrome. I just can't even fucking deal with it. It's a great zone, but once you do it like literally a million times, because I would make all these alts and then I would just never level them past a certain point. So obviously the early game is going to be a factor no matter what. Like today, I feel like starting a paladin and then I'll get him to level 15 and then just stop, never play him again. We don't have any main or anything either that, see now this guy could get me killed because what if those switch over and attack me? Right? I don't know entirely how that works sometimes and I shouldn't have to worry about it, but we'll just wait. He'll aggro like 50 things and then he'll die and then they'll switch on to me, even though I didn't do anything to them. Of course, you can't use two-handed stuff yet. You have to go to all the towns and sort of do your rounds and learn all this weapon abilities. I forget which town has which even for Horde. I won't even act like I know that much about anything because it's been so long. Not even that I just wouldn't be able to remember it. So plate is always good, or I mean mail is always good because you're gonna be able to sell it for a lot. Deal with the economy system strictly on a solo basis and see how different it is. It will be a lot harder to make money. Yeah, so we get the medallion from the one boss guy at the end here. This will be a little bit tricky if I aggro too many things in here. There aren't too many things that you have to worry about as a hunter though, like psychic scream or like a fear that's gonna pull the whole fucking thing to you. But those abilities can definitely be fool's gold at times. You're only gonna get 2 shots off. Get this nice little music here that plays a lot in STV, at least. This is where I remember it from. But anywhere kind of tropical like that too, like the Wailing Caverns might. No, I don't think it does actually play in the Wailing Caverns. I don't know. See, that could be a double aggro there. You never want to do that. At least not until I have a pet. That's just gonna make it a total face roll experience too. But whatever, we'll do this for all the rest of the classes too. I mean, any class that can heal should be pretty much a safe zone too, but sometimes it can be very hard to heal during combat. And of course, you're not allowed to use stuff like the Ankh, or you could use Feigned Death, certainly. I kind of forgot about that actually. But I don't know exactly how it works. It's not going to be as reliable as Vanish, I don't think. Like, what you could do is, like, every encounter that you go into, if you used Vanish previously, you just wait till it's up again before you go into the next encounter. I guess I can't help that. Right? Like, if these players are going to try to clown me, let them, but imagine complaining about it not being dead enough instead of it just being dead in the first place. Grouping, yeah. Not allowed, dude. Yeah, if they do help me kill stuff, that's not really my fault, but I'll try to avoid it. I think maybe the early level zones will be the most populated because, everybody gets to like level 5 and then they stop. So, I forget exactly how you get to them. There's also like something in the middle here that you pick up, which I don't actually know like that. I think maybe they'll send you back in here again a third time. I guess the first time they didn't really send you inside. They just sent you outside to kill the familiars like I did. We should do some like proper RP with this. Like, I don't know how to get in the mindset, but like anytime a game is this fucking long and deep, like with Skyrim, I didn't intend to make that an RP series, but then occasionally we would certainly bleed into it. Or even like with Dark Souls sometimes. Give a eulogy for fucking Man Scorpion Tark, or we have like all this ongoing story with the Smelter Demon. It's fucking awesome. That's what it turns into. Like, it takes on a life of its own because it's so fucking insane. with just how long you spend on it too. So I'm getting a little bit too comfortable with killing these. I got to make sure I'm not missing health or something. They kind of lull you into a very complacent state after a while. So yeah, a lot of stuff we can sell. Not even gonna have room for whatever. So that guy's a pat. So see, even this is applying like dungeon type mechanics. Gotta watch out for the pats, watch out for ads. Pull one thing at a time, pull it with your bow, even if you weren't a hunter. Pull it back so that, you know, it doesn't aggro the whole fucking room. Okay. I don't know if this is the guy who is patting or not, actually. You get at least a second shot off. The biggest thing that's going to screw you over potentially a respawn. So you either have to be really quick about clearing through stuff, or you just have to, I don't know, always be ready for it. Okay, that I didn't have anything on at all. You know, this guy could aggro at a weird angle and fuck me over, so let's just try to do this. Got to be careful about using stuff like Aspect of the Pack and Cheetah and stuff, because that might fuck you over with the days. Yeah, hopefully PvP isn't a factor, because I don't know what normal still means. It says like, oh, I guess we'll wait for the pat. It says, you know, oh, you don't have to deal with PvP unless you want to, but I guess going into a contested zone could count as like entry is consent. You're the one who went into Ashenvale or whatever. You would think that's not the case, but who knows? That might be the whole point of contested zones, right? Like, why? Because in a PvP server, no, I guess that's true too. You still can't kill people in fucking, obviously, Elwyn Forest or something, unless you use like an Infernal. How many thousands of times did we see that play out? So the Infernal will go nuts and just kill all the guards and kill the players there, even if they're not PvP flagged. I forget exactly how you did that, but yeah, I'm gonna actually run out of arrows, so I don't know what the fuck to do. Unless some quest conveniently gives me some, I honestly don't know how you get them. That's kind of stupid. So there's like a little centaur encampment next to Senjin Village, but the centaurs are more so enemies of the Tauren than the trolls. Yeah, Taurens were like seen as the most boring class because they had like the least, you know, historical lore. They were just kind of peaceful, minded their own business. Nothing really too crazy or exciting to them. So here we go. We'll use our special ability for this guy. Don't really have any potions or anything to fall back on. So let's see how much the Shadow Bolts do, or he's gonna do fucking Corruption. He is letting me get the bow off very easily though. That's not too bad, I guess. He does more with his fucking staff than his spells, of course. So let's try to get out of here really quick though. Don't need the tough jerky. Don't really want to jump down. That's exactly the kind of thing that could get you killed, right? Especially as a hunter, when you're not going to want to melee them anyway. You'll be guaranteed to aggro something. Let's just get out of here. Like, even playing as a night elf could be good, because you can always use your fucking little stealth ability, but you can't use it in combat, and it's kind of... You can't move while doing it. Yeah, see, we already got respawns. That's fucking nuts. That almost seems unnatural. Maybe they boosted the rates, because clearly these servers are so populated. Look at how fucking stupid that is, dude. I just killed those guys. Oh my god, that is very dangerous. I almost want to kill this first, because I don't have room to shoot at the other guy. So it'll get easier for a while as you level up, and then it'll get harder, right? Because there'll be certain... Depending on what kind of gear I get and just how it progresses exactly, and what kind of epic spec I'm gonna choose, like survival, melee, fucking hunter, dog shit. I don't know about the melee aspect, but I might actually try survival, unironically. I don't know. I would have made, if I was in charge of Blizzard, I would have made a single player version of WoW. And like somehow just made it just as big and just as fucking insane. And people would have loved it. Because it would be like an open world RPG. Right? Just with like that much space, that much size, that much lore. The mechanics could obviously be better. More hands-on, less auto-attacking and stuff. Because there's so many like cool milestone moments too. Like, oh, you'll get your mount at level 40. Like, that's just an epic moment. that has nothing to do with it being a multiplayer game. It's just awesome to be able to do that. Go around this massive fucking world on a mount that cost a lot of money that you know, worked a very long time to get. I wonder what percentage of people could afford a mount their first time getting to 40 right away. Probably nobody. You'd have to be like really savvy with your auction housing and stuff. Let's just get out of here. You got to be extra careful. You might think, oh, I'm just farming experience, but you don't want to leave anything to chance. This is actually a pretty fun game to do permadeath runs with. Like, you could do one with each expansion. Try, like, you know, 1 to 70. I guess the 1 to 60 part would get kind of old, though, because it'd be almost the same thing as this. You may as well just do this on... I guess you can't do BC anymore anyway, though, because there is no BC server. It just skipped over to Wrath, I'm pretty sure. But still, the 1 to 60 experience is similar. I feel like maybe they changed it a bit. I can't remember exactly. They just made it easier, basically. And then there's that stupid dungeon finder, which gets added at some point during Wrath. Pretty uncanny timing how they did the Death Knight class in Hearthstone at almost the same time that they did classic Wrath, right? They couldn't have planned it like that because they didn't know that this classic thing would go so well for them. Yeah, it's one of the great examples in gaming history of like why you can't have nice things. Hogwarts Legacy fucking precursor. I won't get into that one, but no, it's like the way that people approach this game, especially streamers and stuff, just seem to be so cynical and so jaded. I don't know. So in that sense, yeah, they thought they wanted the game, but they really didn't, because they just wanted to fucking breeze through it and use it as content and just kind of, you know, do things that they had never done before as if they had done them before. That's maybe the best way to explain it, right? You're acting like you're, you know, oh my goodness, Nax 40, what a joke, even though they had never even fucking entered Nax 40 in their life, and neither had I, obviously, but it's just like, it doesn't matter. There's such an ego thing to it that doesn't even make any fucking sense. Like, who cares? Okay, let's just clear our way out of here. So we'll be almost level 6. This is actually going kind of smoothly. Of course, it gets exponentially longer the higher level you get. Yeah, imagine just playing a game not to get to the end or just to beat it, or in this case get to max level, but just to actually soak in the experience, which is risky to do with a lot of games, sure, because you don't know that they're going to be good or not. So it could be a gamble, but there is something strange about it that normally happens with multiplayer games, because I was doing like a single player playthrough of Anthem, or I still am, and it's like, it's the same thing with that. People are like, what the fuck are you doing? Why are you actually reading the story and the flavor text and stuff? But it's like, it's there for a reason. Either it's worth doing or it's not. It shouldn't be reliant on multiplayer. That's the problem I have with multiplayer games, right? It's not the fact that they are multiplayer, just like, oh, that inherently makes them bad. But it's the fact that it relies on it so much that everything else feels like an afterthought. I could get fucked over pretty hard here. I better go to Senjin Village, like, right now. How can they do this to you with the ammo? I must just be missing it. What other vendor did I not look at? It's not even like I'm overkilling stuff too much. I thought maybe I could get to level 10 at least, but maybe not. Not in any hurry, and who knows when or even if I'll come back to this. Just for the fuck of it, I felt like doing it, though. So that's kind of what this format shows. Normally, I have like a very fixed schedule where like I do, well, not exactly the days I do it on, but like one day it'll be a hard mode series. Like right now I'm still doing Plants vs. Zombies. And then one day it'll be like a story game or like a gauntlet format, like Xbox Game Pass Gauntlet, which I'm doing now. And so there's no room for something like this. So this is still like a secondary thing that I could just do whenever I feel like, or kind of like part of a set rotation, like with my card games and stuff, with chess, equating WoW to chess. Get this nice little ambiance because the music doesn't loop all the time, right? That seems more maybe immersive. Is your task complete? Do you have the Burning Blade Medallion? You retrieved it. Well done. Your efforts within the Burning Blade Coven are key to rooting out this cult in the Valley of Trials, but I fear they have further aims in our land. We've not seen the end of them. Yeah, you see them right outside of Orgrimmar, in fact. And yet one level 50 guard couldn't just go and clean that shit out, huh? 29 versus 17 is probably the best bet that you have there. But I'm giving you this back. That should kind of work like that. Takes away this and adds that instead, but whatever. Get the fucking thing here. Report to Senjin Village. Exactly what I had in mind. Your trials against the Burning Blade are finished here in the valley. But I want you to report your findings. Go to the troll village of Senjin and seek out Master Gadrin. Senjin Village is east out of the valley. Yeah, I was born there. I'm a fucking troll. What do you think? Then right at the fort, tell Gadrin of the Burning Blade and that they have reached the Valley of Trials. Discover from him if they have yet reached Senjin. Go and be swift. I fear the evil found in the Burning Blade Coven is but the herald of a larger threat. That is a pretty good guess, actually, but these fucking NPCs will never see that. Let's go in here. So I'm hoping Senjin Village has arrows because there really would be no other way for me to get them as far as I can tell. How could I have missed them in the shop multiple times over? This we can wear. Everything else is fine. We can repair some of this shit. So the potion I'll definitely keep. You should even keep it there, although I might accidentally hit it then. The peon one I can turn in too, but let's just clear up some space for the time being. So now what we have to do is... That is bizarre, actually. So you really have to get through all this on fucking 200 shots or 400 shots. I forget how much I might have started with more than this, but it might have only been 200. I guess worst case, you could just melee stuff down, but you know how risky that can be. Yeah, this 1 to 10 part might be the hardest part of the whole run, because then the pet's going to carry the shit out of you the whole time. It'll be like the Pidgeot experience from Pokemon Y. He was the most clutch Pokemon of my whole life, where anytime that run was about to end, he would just come in and fucking finish off the gym leader or save me from the sky battle, because I thought Beedrill could fly, even though technically Beedrill does fly. No good, lazy. A, do you have my blackjack? Do you want to catch any peon sleeping on the job? Good, good. Maybe they'll think twice before slacking next time. Thanks for the help. Oh, here we go. This is the pick where they send you back in there again. You're a dependable troll. Can I count on you for another task? Some time ago, I was surveying the cave to the north for minerals, and I left my favorite pick behind. When I later returned to retrieve it, I found the cave was filled with vicious beasts. Will you go into the cave, the Burning Blade Coven, and get my pick? I left it in a chamber with waterfalls. My pick has a spell on it, so you can see it in the dark. So you won't have to worry about finding it, just what's guarding it. I love that kind of line. It has a spell on it. That's why it's glowing. It's not just glowing because it's an RPG or a video game where they want to show it to you as the player, right? That's a great way to explain, like, I don't know, the visual feedback. The map doesn't have all these icons on it. It's just your natural tracking sense or whatever. So I'm not actually going to do that because I don't have enough ammo to do it. Maybe I can go buy some and come back. But I guess we're done with this area. Unless we're missing a quest. Well, I guess we'll come back and check with him. I will do that one. We give up the pick or the blackjack thing. Yeah, that's a great way to make your employees work harder. Just tell them about the game of blackjack that you're playing with all the money that you make from their fucking underpaid labor. So we go out here. I always loved attacking the cities, but it was hard to organize groups to do that sometimes. That was more fun than fucking doing a raid, like trying to kill Thrall or one of the, you know, big city leaders. Now here it can be a little dangerous. There's going to be some level 7s and stuff lurking about. Try to stay on the path. So we can pick up this quest. I actually have no idea what this one is. Probably go to Razor Hill already. Excuse me, can you help me? I have a load of food here. I walked along the path and braved scorpions and spiders and worse. I thought... Spiders? Where are there spiders here? I brought the food to the Valley of Trials because I thought they would need it and I would like to help out. But they don't need any food. Now I have to take it back to Razor Hill and I'm afraid of all the beasts along the way. Can you take it for me? I'm just a peon, but you're a hero. Now, why does he think of me as a hero? I'm just some random person now. You fear nothing. Take it to the innkeeper, Gross, get Razor Hill Inn. I mean, it'd be a good excuse to do that, but these are going to be too high level. Like, what the fuck? You got to save me with, give me some fucking general goods shop. Yeah, ordinarily, if it wasn't for Senjin Village, you would be kind of fucked here. Because you'd have to go all the way to Razor Hill on 0 ammo. These guys aren't even hostile. Gotta be very careful. It is actually a scary moment. 24 shots left. You can't dick around. Surely they have a general good shop here. Surely. No, they sell mounts, but not fucking arrows. Engine Village. Boarding coal car aggression. Lower your voice, Hunter. The coal car centaurs lie just over the ridge to the west in the coal car crag. Last night while they were raiding, I stuck into their village and discovered that the dirty beasts have a 3-tiered attack planned on the trolls and orcs of Duratar. We mustn't let their invasion come to fruition. Perhaps you can muster the might needed to infiltrate the crag and destroy their attack plans. Last I saw, they had divided them up among 3 of their leaders. Now, you know what would be smarter is don't destroy them, but change them to some suboptimal plan, and then they'll just follow it blindly. Because then they wouldn't think that anything's wrong. Oh, somebody just came up with another shitty plan of attack. So this will be a rep thing. They'll say, I can teach you the finer points of Raptor provided you have enough gold to learn the lesson. So 20 gold for that, and then like 80 gold for this, or 100 or whatever. 80. But of course, even if you could do this, you can't do it without being like exalted or something, right? I forget. Or they give you like a discount if you are. Let me just find the ammo thing here. Has some random chick dancing. Weapon merchant. General goods. Thank you. You just saved my whole fucking run. We could buy like a bag too, but I'm not worried about, oh, you'll get better arrows later or something. Would that just fill it up or what would it do? 24. Just forget about the 24. Yeah, we have 2. We have, what? 1,200, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. That's actually pretty good. So why don't we just treat this like our inn, like a home? See how long even that took. Like, hour 20. It felt like more than that. I guess my intro was pretty long. Now I'll try, like, Duelist, because I just heard about that, like, being re-released or something. So that's the beauty of these flex sort of things. I can just do any random fucking shit that I wouldn't normally have played or that I never got around to playing. Probably a lot of it's going to be multiplayer stuff because I tend to avoid that. Yeah, this is a multiplayer experience, by the way. Just short of level 6, too.